So hello and welcome back, and as promised we are going to go through the Throne of Tides dungeon today. It's a dungeon, I'm not gonna lie, I had never even known was in the game because I'm just not normally a dungeon person until I can solo them, and this one is kind of way out of the way, so I didn't even know it was here. Mostly because I think you tend to forget about Vashj'ir because there's just not a lot going on down here, which is too bad because, like I said last week, this whole zone is a vibe. I really, really like Vashj'ir, and I need to find excuses to come here more often. I think that's one of the best things about this series I'm doing is it's making me go back through and actually really look around in each zone before I make a video on it. So, to get to the Throne of Tides, you have to drown. Basically, you have to swim down here, and you're gonna lose your breath. You're gonna hit fatigue. It's kind of creepy, but don't worry about it. You're just swirling on down into the Abyssal Maw. Also, it's kind of sad because there was supposed to be a continuation to this dungeon, and you can even kind of see it over here. How there was supposed to be either a raid or another dungeon to follow up this one, because this one sort of leaves its storyline unfinished, but Vashj'ir was hated enough, I guess, that they just didn't do it, which, I don't know, makes me a little bit sad. I really do like this entire zone, and I kind of like everything about it, and coming back here to it just gave me all the feels. Anyway, here we are at the Abyssal Maw. We are standing in front of the Throne of Tides, and let's go ahead and just head on in and check out this dungeon. I don't know if there are any battle pets that drop from this dungeon. I haven't gotten any yet, but then again, I haven't played this dungeon very often at all. And this will be Onyx's first time through, so let's pick up the quest.
McGraw.
He says, "I'd love nothing more than to wring that witch's neck myself, but someone's got to keep these Naga off your back. Don't fail me, Onyx. Rescue the
Your
Earth Speaker."
blades never dull.
Good, you brought allies. Well, as to the allies thing, no, actually I haven't. You must hurry if we are to rescue Erutak. Fight your way through Nepthalon's halls, find the shaman, and free him from these worms, if he still lives. Don't worry about them coming up from behind you. Nothing will make it past me. Alright, so we have to go and rescue Erunok, Stone Speaker, and we will get some spiffy leggings.
Strength.
And the sins of the Sea Witch.
For the Horde.
Vashj'ir. She's the one responsible for this mess. She's in here somewhere, Onyx. She must be exhausted after that fight with Nepthalon. Now is the time to strike. We won't have another opportunity like this. I'll handle anything that tries to aid her from this direction. Find her and run her through.
Be safe.
So, the thing I found very interesting about this is I don't know that Nepthalon is even really talked about. Alright, dude, you actually have to let me into the dungeon, though. You know, if I can't get in, I'm going to be highly embarrassed.
What do you need?
Yeah, let me in.
Go
dude.
forth to victory.
Maybe it would help if I actually paid attention to what was going on. No, I'm not going to insert a mythic keystone. Just let me in. Well... Alright, hold on. Alright, yeah, couldn't get in because I had the dungeon set to mythic and don't have a keystone, so It's always good to know what on earth you're doing wrong. Also, I think if you give me just a second, I'm probably gonna summon one of my pets just because it always seems like a good thing to do. Alright, well, good job, me. I completely think I just left you on pause through the entire first fight because I am just that good. Yep, professional YouTuber here. Definitely not. And I was talking about how I recently was on Wowhead. Oh my. Alright, well, we'll talk about that after we fight Commander Ulthok. He is an incredibly ancient being sent by his old god masters to aid Lady Najtar with invading the Throne of Tides. He's got sinister powers and legions of faceless. I don't even know that he's a faceless one. He definitely lives up to his title of Festering Prince. But yeah, before we fight him, I'm going to pull up the dungeon map because I was on Wowhead and I was looking at the actual map of the entire dungeon, and it was pointed out on Wowhead that this dungeon bears a striking resemblance to the female reproductive system, and now that it's been pointed out to me, I can't unsee it. And you gotta wonder, what was up with that, Blizz? What were you playing at there? Yakamachau. You know? Who said it? Not me. Also, I was babbling on, but if you were wondering about that happy little noise there, that was the fantastic add-on All the Things. If you are a collector of anything, it's probably one of the best mods that I've picked up. It tends to be a little bit glitchy sometimes. You have to take it off and reload it because sometimes it'll block you from doing things, but it is an awesome mod. And it plays that happy little serotonin, like dopamine noise every time you get something new, and it just makes me happy. Also, even if you are at max level, these guys hurt. Just figured I'd let you know that. You really don't want to get hit by them. I actually had one of my hunters die in here because I was not paying enough attention and thought I could just go running on through and just blast and it wouldn't matter, and you know what? It did matter. So, the more you know. I do kind of like it when Blizzard does that, you know? Alright, let's jump on this telepad and see where we're headed off to next. You know, this is a very pretty dungeon. I have to give, like, hats off to the art team in World of Warcraft. They always nail it. It's always beautiful. Alright, let's go see if we can't rescue Erutank. I can't speak. Arunak Stonespeaker. One of these days I'm going to actually learn to speak, and then watch out, world. This is one of those dungeons ever since I found it, and granted I only found it a couple weeks ago, but ever since I found it, I just kind of like to come in here, clean out the dungeon, and then just wander around because it's as close as I can ever get to living inside of an aquarium. And it's kind of really cool. I really like it. Also, the very first time that I came to this dungeon, I did not know how to get back out, so I ended up hearthing. I will show you when we exit the dungeon exactly how to get back out. But first, we have to kill all of these minions of Gershla. who is our next fight. So let's see. Let's just take a look really quick at this dungeon journal, and we are on Mindbender Gersha. After his valiant efforts at the Abyssal Breach, Earthen Ring Shaman Arunak Stonespeaker was abducted by Naga forces and enslaved by Mindbender Gersha. It is feared that this parasitic aberration has taken full control of Arunak's mind, body, and devastating shamanic abilities. Alright, well. There we go. Let's just take out...
Host
oh no, no new host.
outside the cycle.
I am weary.
Oh,
You must carry on without me.
I don't want to.
I shall take my leave once my strength has returned.
Oh, poor
The
friend.
elements listen.
Press on, friend. I shall find my way out when strength returns to me.
Keep a peaceful mind.
What is this? You? Rescuing me? This will take some getting used to. I'm sure it will.
Find your center.
I will find my center. I think the most disappointing thing about this dungeon is that it only has just a limited number of bosses. I think I would have been really interested to have seen if they would have done the follow-up dungeon, or if they would have done a raid under the water. And you know, it's funny, I was actually thinking about it, and most of the things that people complained about in Vashj'ir we're kind of used to now. In fact, I have found it much easier to get around Vashj'ir than I ever found it getting around in the Shadowlands. In fact, honestly, I still have issues getting around in Shadowlands because I ignored Shadowlands for so long, and so I still don't have flying there. And Shadowlands without flying is way worse than Vashj'ir ever was. We'll just put it that way. At least in my humble opinion. I don't know. I feel like at least Vashj'ir they gave you water breathing and a wonderful water mount right from the very beginning, which made this zone much easier. Possibly because it was the very
Beast
first
has
one.
returned. It must not pollute my waters.
I mean, if you say so, Neptulon. Oh, but he's so cool looking. You can definitely see his relation to Alakir and Ragnaros, except he's just very cool looking. I wish I could fly just so I could get up there on eye level with him, but he's very cool. Anyway, our final boss of this encounter is the Ink of Osmot. And we aren't even fighting all of Osmot. He's still hanging out there. Oh, yep, there he is. He's very creepy, and all we get to fight is his ink. But here we are. Tales of the monstrous kraken that terrorize Azeroth's high seas were once relegated to myth, but no longer. By some ill means, the Naga have bent Azamat, the patriarch of all kraken, to their will, and unleashed him against Neptulon and his followers. Well, I guess we'll just have to kill him.
Behold the power of pure water.
Oh, well, you know what? Thank you, my dude. I
My
appreciate
realm
that.
has at last been cleansed of vile filth.
And then, unfortunately, from what I understand, Neptulon actually gets carried off by Osmot, and we never get to see him again, which is kind of sad. So I don't know if in canon he is dead and gone, kind of like Ragnaros, or not. But that's what I read anyway, is that in canon, Osmot, we did not technically defeat, and he took off with Neptulon, and that was supposed to lead us into the next dungeon or raid that was going to be down here. But because so many people hated Vashj'ir, Blizzard went ahead and canceled it. And like I said, that just kind of makes me a little bit sad, because I would have really liked to have seen what Blizzard would do with a underwater raid. I think it would be really cool. So yeah, that is the incredibly short Throne of Tides. Very cool. You can just kind of hang out down here, look out through the great glass viewing ports and watch the Naga having fights with Neptulon's creations. And yeah. So next week we're going to go and we are going to explore Deepholm. And then I guess we will be moving on to a expansion that I really loved, and that is the Mists of Pandaria. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do each zone in one episode. We might end up doing 2 episodes per zone, just because once we start heading into the newer expansions, the zones got bigger, and there's just so much more to see. But we're going to turn in this, and then I'm going to show you how to get out of this dungeon without Hearthing.
Thrallhall,
Alright.
be safe.
Hellscream shall know of your deeds here. Without you, things here would be far worse.
May your blades
Yay!
never dull.
Thank you, Legionnaire Nosgrim. And we're going to head on outside of this dungeon. And then all you have to do is go right over here and talk to Wave Speaker Valoran, who will teleport you back out to Vashj'ir. Wow, for a minute there, I could not remember the name of this place. And you can be on your way. So next week we will be going to Deepholm. And then after that, on to Pandaria. So from Onyx and me and whoever that person is that's just running around back there, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. Say goodbye, Onyx.